twin lolly dolls.
We're gonna fight everybody in Reenact, by the way, except for one of them, who basically at the very start of the game has already died.
Yeah. Brionic is basically the evil organization.
The evil elite organization
Yeah.
that gets beaten by a bunch of kids.
That keeps sending people after you to try to capture you. Jeremy being the first one, Belial being Scythe, and Belial being the second. And now after being underneath the cavern, getting and getting hit by lava, now we get to run through a snowy field.
Yeah, the logic of this game, it's geography. Also, this is a particularly weird area because of the rocks that are in the way, so sometimes when you slide off, it counts as you. If it's a platform and you're in the air, so it doesn't make sliding very optimal for this area, which is why I use the double jump accelerator to get through certain parts of it.
Accelerator! That's that!
The worst is when you slide off one of those rocks, and the next time you hit square, the game thinks you're in the air, so then you do an aerial stomp. Because then you have to wait for the stomp to finish.
Jump! Once more! Jump! Full speed! Go!
I think
Jump!
I needed that heal, but... Oh, there's another one. I'll have to finish.
Accelerator! Charge! Yeah! Yeah! Okay! Kick! Go! Jump! Once more!
So if you slide off a platform, jumping lets you instantly recover your momentum.
Accelerator!
So it's another trick that I kind of use, although you can't really see it that often. If you don't jump, then you just kind of fall off the platform.
Go! Charge! Okay!
And we're done here.
And back to Brionic.
Back to Brionic. And then we get our next random boss, who is Kraken. Kraken is similar to the bosses in the first hour in the sense that it really does come down to what he decides to do, and there's a whole bunch of things he can do to basically wreck any sort of strategy that you try to develop, because he has an attack that puts you to sleep, and he has a physical that ignores evade, and when it hits, it moves everybody to different positions. So I can't really predict ahead of time where everybody's going to be, so it's a very much a play-by-ear type of fight. But
And sleep hits every hex in this game, so it can put your entire party to sleep.
yeah, it hits everybody inside the hex. His attack in particular has what I call the widespread effect. And what that means is when it hits a particular player target, it will spread out and hit other surrounding hexes if there are other players nearby. If there's no other player characters nearby, then it just affects one hex. But basically, it's effectively group target, so it's pretty nasty. The one good news about Kraken is that he's nowhere near as damaging as the bosses in the very first hour, so that is the silver lining to the fact that he's completely random.
Yeah.
And what I mean by not as damaging is he only 3-hit KOs instead of 2-hit KOs, which in this game is actually a big difference. So that is the solace I'll have also.
A lot of games when you see a 3-hit KO is all that good. In this game, it's an improvement.
Okay!
I got shutout. I don't think I'm going to use it. There is a funky strategy where you can shut out your own hex so that when he attacks, you can't get moved around. Because if you are affected by shutout, you can't move in or out of hexes.
Here's a pretty random encounter. And of course, another dancing Kraken.
I see.
And he puts Sertao to sleep right away.
Bandaloin!
Oh, Jesus. Ow.
Cool and smart, that's my way.
I won't be afraid!
Really?
And that's why he's annoying. Because his attacks teleport you.
My turn to show off.
Looks like you've lit my fuse. My emotions are without end. Where to go? My flashing blade shall pierce the darkness. I'm not good at holding back. My flashing blade shall pierce the darkness. Don't underestimate me. Think you can take me on? I can do it. Custom like sword. Dive attack. I want to help. I'll support with guidance.
Oh, God.
Uh,
Oh, wow. Wow, really?
I can do it. Custom like sword. Dive attack. Is this what my Primus wrought?
Okay, that is surprisingly awesome.
This should be interesting.
He uses a sleep attack and puts the only character who is not grouped together to sleep.
exactly.
So I actually still got to use Joint Struggle to kill him.
It's certainly keeping us on our toes.
No, I don't know what joint struggle is. What joint struggle?
Wild Bunch. The attack that I renamed, that
Sit.
I can't remember because I'm too used to calling it by its original name. I'm bad.
I'm looking out for you there, Villager.
Thank you. Well, you're looking out for me, I think, more likely.
Yeah. As well. As well.
For people who are just tuning in, what is this attack you're talking about? Can you give me a water as well?
Yeah, I'll get you one. Well, we took a lot of value.
Yep. And hitting switches. Good morning.
Kick! Charge! Kick! Okay! Kick! Kick! Yeah! Charge!
Yeah.
Kick!
You're gonna be hearing that a lot
Yeah!
because I need to amp up the frequency of character voices to reduce the frequency of boss death speeches, which slows the game down.
This'll do it!
Whereas if you keep saying jump and, you know, charge and attack, it doesn't slow down gameplay. I was actually saying beforehand, next time I do this, I should make a donation and send it to YouTube.
Hop, hop.
Jump!
Here we go.
One more!
Match me.
This'll do it!
So that was a good one.
Jump!
So your timing doesn't have to be exact when you hit those switches. You can actually hit it pretty much like a second or a second and a half early, and the game will still count as the fact that you hit the switch properly. So to get through this quick, you actually want to hit the switches before gone. But more or less, the timing for that is tricky. So usually, if you can hit the switches at about the same time, it's just considered good. And just try to avoid hitting switches late.
Match me.
Here I go! Once more! Jump! Charge! Okay! Kick! Go! Charge! Yeah! Charge! Charge!
Back with my Swedish
Yeah!
friend. I'm done.
Yeah! Okay!
I hate that, by the way.
Go! Yeah!
So we received a couple donations.
I personally hate that.
So we received a couple of donations. We received a $10 donation from Timo Bauer. His comment says, many people are sleeping now after Final Fantasy X. If this was because of the long 11 hours of the game itself, we will never know. So we have to get donations started again. Also nice that it happens with Wildlands, one of the RPGs I've heard a lot of but never played. Let's check it out. And we also have a $6 donation from Rowan Dink. It says, I think it's great what you all are doing. Keep up the good work and I hope you donate more. This is the first time I've seen these kinds of runs ran live and I'm already enjoying it. Again, keep up the good work and many thanks to all the guys out there.
Okay. Religion, were you around when I was practicing for this segment? Yeah, I don't remember if you were.
Accelerate! Yeah!
Okay.
Kick!
I don't remember who was around when I fought Hugo,
Charge!
because I also died that time, which is great. Still at
I
0.
know.
We're gonna see what happens. We're gonna see what happens.
Here we go! Once more!
Basically the girl in the blue dress, Yuli, she's basically known in the game for dying very often because she has very bad physical defense. And every boss in this game has a physical attack that will 2-hit KO her. And they're all like 200% average speed, so they're all double turn. So the chances of her dying are extremely high. But so far it has been deathless,
Yeah,
which is very rare.
Somehow she's.
It is extremely rare for it to be deathless.
Oh, there's the universe. Oh my god! What is this?
How many more people or how many more units joined the universe last night? After I was dead?
I think I'm gonna cry! For it!
Why do we buy uniforms?
Once
Oh
more!
my god.
Yeah.
Once
The
more!
power the blitz policy even made it to I like that one best.
Accelerate!
Are you kidding me?
Accelerate!
Wow.
For it! Kick! Go! Yeah!
So I pick up fighter badge there. What that does is it reduces my speed. So I need to use that at a later point in the game to basically adjust my speed around. Because that will determine how the turn order looks like. Do I have enough for isolate?
Now,
I do. Perfect.
does everybody have access to everyone's skills right away? It just takes a while to level them up. Is that how this one is? Compared to the other wild arms?
This one is a little different in the sense that you have a graph basically on the front there, and all those skills you will eventually learn, but basically before you reach the level to learn the skill permanently, you can purchase that skill ahead of time with the points that you get, and you get a point basically every level. And that increases also your base increment. So, for example, if you need a skill that you learn at level 14 and you're level 7, then you can spend all 7 points to learn the level 14 skill before you reach that point. So manipulating that and buying things ahead of time is how we get abilities before we're supposed to, and that's how we finish some of these fights quickly. So this next fight in particular, Hugo, his special gimmick is a passive ability called System Chronos. Basically, every time you attack him, he will automatically move to a different hex. And since every attack in this game focuses on hexagons and spaces, this means that he basically automatically dodges basically any attack you send his way. If he has an empty hex, he can move towards too. So the way you shut this ability off is you either trap him with basically a wall of characters, because you can't move into a enemy occupied hex and an enemy can move into an allied occupied hex. So you can trap him with a human wall, or you can use multi-target attacks that will hit every hex on the screen, so even if he moves to another hex, he'll still get hit. It's obviously easier to do method 1 than it is to do method 2.
And add one more thing about the GC points. There is a side for not a good side for not using all of them. Is each one you have extra point that you don't spend increases your health and your magic also. So you're actually decreasing your health and magic in order to buy future abilities.
Yeah. There's a ratio for the characters too. I think it's 25 for Jude, 22 for Arnaud, 17 for Yuli, and 19 for Raquel for HP, and then it's 2 MP for Arnaud and Yuli, and 1 MP for Jude and Raquel, if I recall correctly.
So that's why you just don't dump all the points when you have them into something.
Okay,
You
see
just
what
spend
happens.
what you really need.
This way.
Yes, okay. I can pull the shot off.
My turn to show off.
So the big danger is if he attacks the center hex twice, because then Yuli dies before you can do
You're tougher
anything.
than I thought.
Surprisingly, people are not attacking Yuli. And now he's trapped.
Henri always
And
said
he's
you
trapped.
never keep up.
So if he pulls off System Chronos, the game also explains the ability, so it wastes an additional second.
Try using
Yeah.
your brain a little.
Yeah, all these Riotic bosses have some kind of trick. And until you actually trigger it, they don't tell you about it. But then they tell you about it.
Allow me.
Maybe I'll give that a
Oh,
try.
he's dead.
And there's Raquel just beating them up.
And at this point, it does not matter what you do. GG.
Did you overcome time?
So I bought Replace. Replace has a 100% chance of working unless the enemy is immune to it. Most bosses in the game are not immune to Replace, so it's a guaranteed way to move enemies around to where you need them to be. As long as you have a turn that you can afford spending. So,
Yeah, you can manipulate people's movement. You got ways to transfer your characters around. You can push people out of squares.
yep. We do push people out of squares later on. There's a boss that actually requires you to do that.
Yeah.
So we'll see at the very end of the run, unfortunately. Won't be any earlier.
Yeah, that's the MO of the series.
Oh
Yep.
yeah, I was telling Pat today, I have all 3 of them, and I love all 3 of them. Except for the ending of 3, that left me kind of confused.
Well, then you'll be pleased to know there's 5 Wild Arms games. I know. I'm teasing you, dude.
I'm not doing morning push-ups. No slice. No.
Guess who it is? Surprise, it's gone.
Accelerator! Hit! Charge! Go! Yeah! Go! Yeah! Go! Charge! Charge! Hit! Huh? Go! Huh? Accelerator! That's the limit!
When you hit Accelerator, it basically stops random encounters from proccing.
Okay.
So that's the reason why you always see it. And the reason why we're sliding is because it's the fastest form of movement, even though it doesn't look like it. The trouble is, you can't basically if you're in mid-air, you avoid random encounters. So in order to basically keep sliding, you're at a constant risk of getting your encounter like that. So you have to kind of mix and match a bit depending on the map. Also, usually starts on the hex. That means I can roll, I think.
Safety device disengaged.
Oh no,
Yeah, not even-
that was a mistake.
Let's do this smartly.
Trying to get a couple break gems there.
No, I thought that I had enough power to one-shot them, but I didn't. Because I haven't fought random battles for in a very long time.
Go! Charge! Go! Full speed! Okay! Okay! Go! Go! Charge! Charge! Okay! Get ready!
Any character that has that use of brute while on one,
Go!
Yep.
I mean, through that side, I'm like, wait a second, they're
Wait a sec, this isn't good. There is a Wall Arms ACF, which is a Wall Arms 1.
I have seen that. They've added some stuff to it, I believe, haven't they?
Yes, they basically changed the battle system though to Wall Arms 3's core battle system. There's some significant changes in the sense that you don't buy weapons, you don't buy armor anymore compared to the original Wild Arms. And I think everything is a little bit more challenging. Like the bosses deal a lot more damage, which is a prelude to this, where the bosses deal lots of damage.
For it! Yeah!
Hooray! We're done with this area. And we're going to the Skyway. So, the Skyway is where I got instantly killed when I was doing my practice run. So let's hope that doesn't happen. Like, literally everybody grouped together in the same position and then just getting hit by a fire attack while staying on a water hack, so everybody took 2,000 damage or something.
Oh my gosh.
And then they got all hit with Hyperion Blaster, which ignores basically magic resistance. So the only person that was left alive after those two attacks was Arno, and he had 400 health. And then there was 2 more enemies, and I'm like, oh, pfft, we're dead.
Accelerate! Kick! Okay! Go! For it! Okay!
So is this just basic,
Jump!
like every other
Go!
Wild Arms, same Regalia plot, or is there
Jump!
something a little different to it this time?
It's a typical safe Golgaya plot, but that doesn't reveal itself towards the very end. At the very beginning, the plot focuses more around trying to protect the girl in the blue dress. Focuses a lot more on protecting Yuli because, well, Jude's intent to protect her basically is what it is. Only until the pretty much around, around the very end, like 45, we'll say, not even, a little bit later.
Time to run!
50% in is probably around when they reveal what the grand scheme behind why they want to capture Yuli is.
Okay.
And that's when it becomes a safe Golgaya plot.
Full speed!
If you're aware of Darwin and natural
Get
selection,
ready!
the plot actually focuses on that. So
What more?
it talks about how basically during the war, as the prelude to this game, there were a bunch of scientists who were investigating on the possibility of creating super soldiers, and the way they tried to do that was to manipulate genes and using human test subjects to figure out if they can create a super powerful human. At the very beginning of the game, you don't really know what the bad guys are up to, and Arno even makes a comment that he says, it doesn't make sense, because if they wanted to create a superhuman, Jude is a superhuman, so why are they after Yuli? And they explain that the reason why they're after Yuli is because they don't necessarily want a super soldier, they want somebody who can manipulate the arm in this game, which I think stands for ambient dematerialization something, but basically it's like a nano machine. So they can rejuvenate Filgaia after the war. And that's when it becomes a save Filgaia pod.
Go! Okay! Kid!
Oh, you saved the guy in black.
How very generic.
How many times can we save this world?
I know, right?
Guys, just gonna get destroyed again in another 1,000 years.
Well, While I'm Serious has always been about rejuvenation of the environment, but this one gets revealed really late. Like, they don't reveal the real reason why, they need Yuli until about 50% in.
Right.
And then it's like, oh, so that's why they need her. But the first time they reveal it, you're probably doing a double take. Like, what? This doesn't make any sense. But, yeah, that's the whole reason. Because they want somebody who can manipulate nanomachines who allow them to basically destroy the world and recreate it to what they want to rejuvenate the environment. So then it becomes a safer ride plot. Okay, and I just opened the chest that contained the Maka branch, which is a very powerful sword at this point in the game. And again, doesn't need isolate. Class level. Yuli.
Accelerator!
Okay, scroll.
Time's up!
The boss music plays for this, so it's kind of a
Vandaloid!
The rat monkey.
rat monkeys.
Maybe I'll give that a
Maybe
try.
kind of wondering, I wonder why there are, they're playing this boss music, because in fact we fought these enemies very early.
I
Well,
won't
we're
miss
about to
this
find out.
opportunity!
Also,
Because
yes,
there's lots of rat monkeys. They're gonna gang up on you.
she just dealt 8,000 damage.
Numbers took me by
Oh, wow.
surprise.
Stay broken forever. So yes, this is the real boss battle.
Rat monkeys. Oh,
Not quite.
Not quite right.
It's not like the others.
From this range, try
I
using your
win.
brain a little. I'll use the lay point's power.
Oh, wait.
Try
drops
using
a
your
giant
brain a
pebble.
little. Time to cut loose.
So the way this boss fight works is everybody is separated into different fights. And depending on how fast you finish these individual fights, it takes them that long to get back together for the actual boss fight itself. Typically, Raquel and Jude will take 3 turns, Arno will take 6, and that's just due to the nature of how it works. There is a chance for Raquel to appear on turn 2 if she does a counter instead of you needing to manually attack.
How careless of me to fall for that!
Stepping on that lay point for Arnold's fight is important because you need to do 2-hit KO damage. Also, it drops a great gem, which will be important later on. Yes,
I
before
can do it!
5.
We're all counting on you.
Yeah, man. Go sit, go get it.
Yuli, I'll be right there!
Now, are they just? Is there something between those two? Like, your typical generic.
They're kids. They like each other.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
The actual romantic plot line is actually between Arno and Raquel,
Yeah.
because Yuli and Jude actually don't get together at the very end of the game, which is
They're
kind of
like
surprising.
15 years